Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mediocre Poker with me, Amanda Bonanza. And we had intended to play Pot Limit Omaha High Low, but couldn't find a game. There was no one in either tier of stakes that I'm willing to play. So which is a normal thing. Like it doesn't, not a lot of people play high low. It was for a while. It was a long time before even anyone played Pot Limit Omaha. Period. So we're just playing regular Pot Limit Omaha. Uh, Normal high card takes high card, high hand takes the whole pot. So that's how it is. If you're curious about Pot Limit high low, it's we can talk about that. It's a little different. It's the same principles, but instead of like the high hand still wins, but if there is a qualifying low hand, the pot gets split in half, and half goes to the low hand and half goes to the high hand. And what qualifies as a low hand is 5 cards that are an 8 or lower, including an ace. So an ace is the lowest. So ace 2, 3, 4, 5 is the lowest possible low hand, which is a great hand to get because that's the wheel. That's also a really good high hand a lot of the times. So you can win both. The game plays pretty much the same, but your strategies are different. You don't want to play middle cards. So basically, when you're playing Pot Limit Omaha high only, like regular traditional, what we're doing here, you generally don't want to play with any cards below a 4 in your hand. I mean, that's generally the thing. That shifts when you're playing high low to anything between like a 7 and a 10. So you don't want to play 7, 8, 9, 10. Like you want to get rid of those. And like you just want to play your high broadways. And I mean, you can have a 10 in your hand if you've got high broadways, or if you've like the exceptions are the same. Like if you've got a rundown, you've got 2 pair, you've got suits, like that's a pair and suits and a rundown, like all that stuff. You can still do it, but just be aware that like the difference is in traditional PLO, which we're playing here. The high card is the you can play those low cards 2, 3, 4, basically. You can play those low cards, but you want to be careful. You want to be sure you have the rest of your hand makes sense. Like for an example, here we are. We're in the hand now of high. Ace, Queen, 10, 8. It's not a great hand, but it's a good hand. It's got 3 Broadway cards and a suited 10, which isn't the best, but we're just gonna see a flop. There's no need to raise that up. And now here we caught some of our diamonds. We don't have great diamonds, and we're out of position, so we're gonna just check this in this low pot. And they snap checked, so no one has anything here. But we don't have anything either, and we're out of position, and someone could have just caught trip 2s. Like, I mean, someone could have a straight draw. I mean, that's fine. We have a flush draw still, but there's no reason to put money into the pot out of position. And here we cut our flush, so we'll just see. Now, I'll bet the pot here because it's 3 big blinds, and we'll see. If someone raises me, they probably have a higher flush, but they're just giving it to me, so we're off to a good start. I think I just hit my microphone. I apologize if that sounded like shit. So, 2 suits and an ace high with a pair. That's very good. Ace high suit, so we're going to raise that up. From the small blind even. Small blind is a tricky position to play, but that's a hand we will want to play from the small blind for sure. Now let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do something here. You can't see it, but I'm going to just turn the music down on my end. It's pretty dominating. All right. We did not hit anything, so we're going to check it from out of position. And we're just going to see what develops. Now we got a pot size bet. That tells me 8 or 2 4s, I mean, or a high pair, whatever. They've got us beat, and we don't have anything worth drawing to. So we're just going to fold it. At these stakes, you pretty much can believe the bet. If someone bets the pot, they've got something good, probably a good strong hand. This is also a really good hand here. 10, 10, 9, 9, two suits. That's great. This is a terrific, fantastic hand. We're absolutely right. We 3-bet this hand. But we don't get to. We're just gonna RFI. Raise first in is what that stands for. So we'll see what happens here. Look at callers, limpers, limpers, callers, callers. That's great for us. When people limp, it's good because what that tells you is that when they do put money in the pot, that they've got a strong hand, and you should believe them. If they limp, that means they don't really have very good cards. That just is always true. Like, almost, I mean, there's the occasion where someone like limps with aces to trap you, but like it's so infrequent. And look at this, pot size bets with a pair on the board. So we're noticing a trend here. That's a half pot, but even still, we don't have a good enough hand to call. So we're just getting out. We're just getting out of the way. A good pre-flop hand does not equal a good post-flop hand. So that is a very good pre-flop hand, but if diamonds or hearts don't come, and now we have hearts, but even still, we don't want to be chasing that. They could have a full house. They could have 5-4 in their hand very easily. And they're betting as though they do. So why mess with it? With a pair of 10s? And bad heart draw? Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. They didn't have anything at all. So this person's full of shit. I think they probably left. No, they're there. They bought back in. That's great for us. So now we've got a wild maniac. 2 seats to our left. That's not great. So what I'm going to do is because you have to play against these players a certain way, you basically just have to sit and be super patient, wait till you have a hand, and wait till you have a hand that hits, and let them put all their money in the pot ahead of you. I'm not really interested in playing that in front of them, because no matter what we do, they're probably going to raise it, or they're just going to go crazy. Now, in their defense, they did have like draws, and maybe they're just playing their draws aggressively, in which case that's actually pretty good poker. So bottom line is we want to watch them. So let's see if that's a pattern. We're not going to leave yet. We're going to watch them for a minute. And we're going to see if that's a pattern, where if they keep doing it. Like if they do that frequently, maybe that was just a one-off. Because they did have a very good draw. We can even look. We can go ahead and look at that hand history here and see that they had 6, 3, 7, 8. 3 clubs, which isn't a great hand to play in the first place. It's definitely not a good hand to call or raise first in. We got a pair of aces with a suited ace and a wheel. We're playing this for sure. This is a terrific high-low hand, by the way. This is the best kind of high-low hand, but it's still a very good pot limit Omaha hand. So we're going to raise that. We'll 4-bet too if we get 3-bet. So this person's not back in yet, so we can't watch them. On a paired board, we don't like these paired boards, but they check to us. But because it's a paired board with draws, it's very wet, we're going to do a 3rd pot here because we still do have a pair of aces. And they just called right away. So we'll check it down. We've got a pair of aces. We don't have clubs. They say they do. They have clubs, or they have a 9, or they're bluffing us, but we're going to let them bluff us. We don't like our hand. We don't think a pair of aces and 9s can win, and so we're going to let them have it. And we're going to, until they show us otherwise. Also, great hand. Suited ace, 2 suits. We're going to have to raise that up. And this person's impatient. Seat 4 there, they're impatient. They couldn't wait. They had to get in, so that's good for us. We know they're impatient. We got caller, 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 caller. And we didn't hit anything, so bummer. I mean, we have bottom pair, but that's terrible in Omaha. That's no good. That's not worth calling any bet. We down our spades. We now have a spade draw, but it's bad. There's a flush out there. But if no one's betting, That's great for us. There's 19 big blinds in the pot. It's a big pot, so no one bets, and we just take it down with our pair of sevens. See, there we go. Someone's going to stab at it, and it's, of course, going to be this person. They're going to call. So it looks like we've got an aggressive bluffer in seat 4 and a calling station in seat 5. So this has the potential to be a very lucrative game. So we're going to fold. Then we're just going to see what happens, because I think what's going to happen, we would have hit our flush, but we'll see. I expect a pot-sized bet here. Maybe not. Yeah, there we go. Pot-sized bet and a call. Oh no, raise all in. They've got it. They've got the nut. They've got the nut flush, and we're gonna look. We get to actually. They didn't show their cards, but we can look at hand history here, and we can just see what they had as soon as it loads. It's not loading, so I'll bust that out again. Yeah, it's spooling. There we go. King 9, 5 queen is not good. We're not even going to call that. That's a bad hand. Nah, especially with someone aggressive. And they've been limping, so they brought in. Good reason not to play against them. Plenty of good reasons. They had 9, ace, queen, 8 on us. So they had a pair of 9s and a bad straight draw. Yeah, they're just a bad player. They really didn't have anything at all. 7, 8, 9. They had a jack. They had a 10 draw. Like, they're not good. All right. Yeah, this player, seat 4 is a fish, for sure. But they're a maniac fish. And so this player left. If only we could get that seat. I would love to be... If we could have the seat 5, essentially, that'd be great. That's what's called the Jesus seat. That's who you want to be. And then you just call them with whatever. And that's basically how you have to play against that person. Because they're just going to bet and bet and bet. They're going to bet all their draws really heavy. And you just call them down with stuff. I mean, they're not bluffing when they don't have anything. So, I mean, it's arguable that they're playing good poker, you know? Either way, it's not great. And I'm not excited to have them behind us. But we have money in front of us, so that's good. But that doesn't really matter, too, because it's like there's always someone in front of you. Like, these games never end. You want aggressive people in front of you, and weak passive people behind you is the ideal seating situation. Oh, great hand not to be in. Terrible hand there. And since we're not playing, I don't have much to say about it. We're just kind of watching that player, see what they does. They check. They don't have a piece of that. So we know they don't have hearts because they would be betting hearts. We know they don't have 2 to the wheel because they'd be betting that. We know they don't have probably top pair. Maybe they do. Maybe they have a set and they're slow playing it. Who knows? Because they snap called that pot size bet. So, yeah. So who knows? Who knows what they're doing? No, I don't think they have anything. I think maybe had hearts and bad hearts. This person's all in. They say spades. And they get the pot. We won't ever find out. Jack 7, 4, king. Nope. Not playing it. I just put a couple things in the chat. If you're here today and you want to say hi in the chat. Kenny was here last week and I didn't say hi to him and I feel super guilty about it. He asked me a question about equity. To answer your question about equity that you asked last week, Kenny, is you asked, I keep talking about equity. What do I mean by that? Well, equity is essentially the amount of the pot that you quote unquote own. It's your percentage to win. to take down the pot. And you don't really know what your equity is because your equity changes based on what other people have in their hands. So if you've ever watched like poker on television, like the World Series of Poker or anything like that, they'll be, oh, here, it's not good enough to call in first position. They they'll show their percentage to win on the screen. They'll show their cards, and then they'll show a percentage, and that percentage that they're showing is their equity. That's their equity. And you have equity based on your hand. Pre-flop, like you just have equity because certain hands are better than others pre-flop, and that's just a blanket equity that you have. That's calculated by you. There's apps that do it. I haven't found a PLO equity calculator, which would be nice. There's a couple sites. There's PLO Mastermind. It's a paid site, but like you can there's a trial. There's like a free version that you could do some stuff with. The one for Texas Hold'em, that the free equity calculator for Windows is called Flopzilla, and if you in any way serious about poker, you should definitely get it. It's free. You can just download it and install it, and it works pretty well. It's pretty straightforward. We're not calling that. Yeah, and so equity is that. It's how good your hand is in shorthand. That's what that is. How good is your hand? Equity. That's your equity. So lots of draws, lots of a high value hand. Like right now, a lot of equity in this would be if I had ace, king, jack. Yeah, if I had ace, king, jack with the ace and jack of diamonds and one random other card, that would be a monster equity hand because I would have the nut straight and the royal flush draw. Like, and the nut flush draw. So like that would be pretty much as much equity as you could have. Like you could have like right there. And so 3, 8, 9 king is a bad hand. And even to a min click, which is what that's called, a min raise. We're not even gonna play this. Some people would look at that, and there's some schools that say, oh, see, there's a 3-bet. No way. There's the Phil Ivey move, which is you just play every hand and you outplay them in post, which is it's a very legitimate way to play PLO, especially at these stakes, because these players in general don't really know what they're doing and they don't play well. And so it's just really not my style, and maybe that's a failure on my part. I think maybe I could be making a lot more, I don't know, but like, look at, there's your aces. Another thing, I've said it before, I'll say it here. If someone 3-bets in these stakes, they almost always have a pair of aces. So you know 2 of their cards. I have a pair of aces and I'm going to 3-bet. If someone 4-bets, they definitely have aces. Some aces are better than others. These are decent aces. One of my aces is suited. We do have a bad low flush draw. But this isn't the best suited aces, but they'll do. Like, all suited aces are worth betting. And you should play every pair of aces in your hand. So we now have a 6 locked up. We have a 6 blocked. We have a 5 blocking the straight. We've got a backdoor flush draw, and we have top pair with aces. So, and we're in the button. So we are going to bet this pretty much no matter what. We're just going to go ahead and bet the pot here. I think we've got a pretty good chance at dominating here. And we'll see if anyone wants to call us. If someone raises, that's 2 pair or a set. And they called quickly, so they might, I would, if I had to put them on something, I'd say they have a king, maybe even 2 pair. Our hand is still good. The 9 doesn't really help them at all, so we're going to go ahead and pot that again. We'll make them play for all their money. See if they're willing to do it. And they're not, so we just get it. Great. We still had top pair. Ace, king, 7, 5 with a suited ace, but 3 to a suit. 3 to a suit's bad because you block your own flush, but this is good enough to play for sure. So we'll play it. We'll bring it in. So our aggressive maniac isn't 3-betting, so maybe they're less aggressive than I thought. They're just like a halfway decent player, which seems like that could be the case. Ick, foobar, fooey. No, we have 2-pair, and we're in position. We have 2-pair and we're in position. There's a pot-sized bet. We have 2-pair, we have a shitty 2-pair. We don't have any draws, but we do have a full house draw. But with a bet like that, that could easily be trips. That could easily be trip 10s. That could be 10-7, 10-5. We could vary. That could be a straight draw. That could be 2 hearts. There's a lot of things that could beat us here, but we do have 2-pair, so we kind of got to call it. And there is everything we don't want to see, but they check it. I'm not going to bet it because we still have our 2-pair. It's bad. So we don't have shit. So they're checking it down. Our 2-pair might be good. Nope. They're set of 10s. So, yep. We were right to call it because we had the full house draw, but we would have lost any full house. So, in retrospect, seeing what they had, but that's a good lesson. Like when someone bets the pot, they usually have pretty much the nuts. And so there's a real good chance that we could have blown them off their hand by betting the flush draw aggressively. But there's also the chance that they would have called all the way down with sets, which people do. So at these stakes, it's almost like the rules of game theory and all that stuff of PLO and GTO and not PLO, we're playing PLO, but like it's like you kind of gotta, you don't throw them out the window, you still keep them in mind, but like you're not gonna bluff people off hands that they like in this. Like people won't, like if they have a set, they're not gonna fold it. What you can do to compensate for that, to exploit that, is you target that stuff. And so like when someone bets large, you want to, that's why we called that. So we had a full house draw, but honestly, in retrospect, we shouldn't have played that hand. We should have gotten rid of it. But okay, we're learning. And yeah, because even if we caught our full house, then they would have bet pot, and because they would have had a full house too, because they would have 10s over whatever, and we would have lost even more because we probably would have called it. So there you go. There's that. But yeah, I don't even know. I'm rambling is what I do. I ramble and I flap my jaw. Oh, we got a disconnected player. Waiting 30 seconds. 30 whole seconds. That's so long. Uh-oh, I'm low on water. I'm gonna have to get water at some point. I can't be without water. That's terrible. That's a failure on my part. I should have done that in my break. But I'll do that. I will have to get more water at some point, but I can make it a while. I eat too much. I need to go on a diet and exercise more. 2 players, min bets, nothing happening here. 1 person min clicks, they win the pot. Boring. No information really. We're 4-handed with 1 player sitting out. This isn't a great hand, but we're on the big blind. It's good enough to call pretty much any bet because we do have a suited queen and 2 Broadway cards and an ace. So we're going to play it. We're going to see a flop. And the flop did not come our way, though we do have 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's actually a pretty good flop for us. Seeing what they do, we might check raise here actually because we have a dry board but it's the low straight is the problem. But we block the high straight with our 8. I think this is worth a check raise because that's less than half the pot. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's 3x them. Let's see what they do. We got 1 person out. That's good. We're going to go all in. They almost certainly... We're on a draw. We don't have any of those suits. Nah. We're going to let him have it. We're going to believe that bet. They called our bluff. King, king, jack, two suits to the king. Great hand. Absolutely raising this. We'll 3-bet this hand. I do not think we would 4-bet this hand. We would call. But we're definitely 3-bet. Well, we're definitely RFIing. Even from the small blind, we're going to raise. We're going to pot it. We've been not doing well on the flops. We've been not hitting our hands, which is too bad. Horrible for us. Just absolutely terrible. 4 ways with a paired board. We keep seeing paired boards are the worst. You just can't play them. And we have to call. We hit an 8 or a king, we're good. It's 4 outs, but it's 1 big blind. We also have a backdoor flush draw, but doesn't mean much. There's a raise. Ugh. It's not much though. Like it's the pot odds are too good to not call, and now we have a flush draw. We're gonna check it. We'll see what they do. Like they might go all in here. They almost certainly have an 8. The pot odds are too good. I mean, I have to do math here real quick. So like we have if an 8 comes or a king comes, there's 4 of those, so that's 4 outs. If any diamond comes, we're in good shape. I think we have to call it because like yeah, we're getting like what are we getting? If we call less than 20, we'll be getting like yeah, we have to call it. The pot odds are too good. Yeah, 3 9s. They had a full house. Sorry, I was wrong. I again, like yeah, that's the thing. Is like pot odds. You gotta kind of go out the window. Like when they do that, they have it. They just have it every time. And so we're gonna go ahead. What we're gonna do is I think we're gonna. Oh, this isn't a bad table. It's just we're playing badly. Yeah, I gotta play this. I'm not gonna raise it too much. I'm gonna lower. I'm gonna min click because I'm below 40 big blinds. So I'm just gonna min click. We've got a short stack, so I can bet less. Essentially, is what that means. We're looking to scale our bets so we can get all in by the 5th street. But we have a pair. And we have a straight draw. Neither of them bet. That doesn't mean they don't have it. I mean, we'll check it. We've got all the blockers. I'm calling. Queens and jacks. They could easily have a 10 and another pair, and they probably do. I'm calling. Yeah, there they go. They have the straight. And I keep saying they probably have this. They probably do. And then I call and then they do. So I'm playing poorly. We should just be folding. We should just be folding when the cards come. And they bet pot. Period. They're not bluffing. We are playing this, by the way. Ace 2, 3, 10. Absolutely. 3 spades. And we're going to start folding to pot size bets on the river. We're just folding if we don't have the nuts. Then click that in. We got 3-bet. We're not playing it. No longer is this a good hand for us. Because that's aces. Even though we had an ace. It's at least kings. It's probably aces. 3, 10, 7, 9. No es bueno. no good. So the question now is, do we kind of build our stack back up, or do we rebuy from max? I think let's build our stack up. Let's play a little while short stack, see how it goes. See what we can get away with. Doesn't mean we have to play tighter. I don't think we won a hand since that first one that we took down for 3 big blinds. I think that's the only hand we've won. Min bets, min bets, min bets. What do they mean? What does it mean when you min click seat 5? Means you are on a draw. Or maybe you're on a full house. Maybe you had a full house and you're like baiting, trying to keep, oh, just min click. They do that. And we will never know because everyone folded out. Nope. So this person, C3, is capable of folding pre-flop, so that's good. That's a good sign, as they're at least have that discretion. But so when they 3-bet, we have to be real careful, especially since they're to the left of us. 4 is able to fold too. Oh, this is a different player. This isn't the same maniac they left. Yeah, it would have been nice to hit our straight here, and we would bet it hard. And hopefully we wouldn't have got called by spades. This player does not have spades. This player might. But since it's not a pot bet, I'm going to put them at like lower spades, like a jack high flush or something like that. But we're not going to find out. So we got folded too. Maybe even a straight. But they would have bet the straight on the turn. So, nah, they had a flush. Lower flush, I think. They didn't have the nut flush. I don't believe. But maybe they did. I mean, we're gonna play it but we're not calling a raise. We're just gonna check it down. We hit 10s and 5s, hit top 2. It's worth betting. Stop 2. We'll bet 2. Bet 2/3. Get a call. There's the flush. We do have 3 pair. We're still gonna bet this. We're gonna do a third. We'll be able to go all in on the river if our cards come, or depending on what they do. If they raise us here, that's good. That blocks the thing, but that does mean a straight comes. So we're gonna check it and see what happens. They have the flush. Yeah, they have the king high flush. So we were good, right to not bet the river, but we were right to bet our 2 pair in position. Nah. All right, this is the next hand we play is gonna be the last hand we play with this short stack, and then we're gonna buy back in. We're gonna fire another bullet because we have not been hitting our flops at all, which happens in PLO. Sometimes you hit them and sometimes you don't. It's a lot easier to win when you hit them than when you don't. There's ways to play, but you do have to hit cards. If you miss all your cards, you're just not gonna win, especially when other people have the nuts every time and they bet them. So right here, that screams, a raise screams that they have the nut flush. So this person has ace and one of these. They have an ace or they have the nut flush. I promise you that. Maybe even have diamonds too. Ace king 5-9 is not great. I don't think we're going to call it. No, we're not doing it. No, not this short. Not this short stack. That's not good enough hand. Ace King is not nearly as good as it is in Texas Hold'em. So, no. Okay. Min clicks, min clicks. What does a min click in early position mean from seat 3? Then followed, that means they have a straight. They had a straight. Or maybe top pair, maybe 2 pair. They had a hand. That wasn't a bluff. And so we got an early position limper here. So what that means is when they do bet, when they don't limp, that means they've got a good hand. Generally a good hand. But it means it's a good Texas Hold'em hand. So high pair, ace king, like something like that. Things that they think, it has a hand they think is good, and they probably don't know what a good Omaha hand really is. What's assumptive? Hello, Kit. What? I'll say hi to you in the chat, but hello there. If you have any questions, ask me. We're playing Pot Limit Omaha at Micro Stakes, and I am way down. I've been losing. There we go. Boop. Kit's here. Kit 10 purrs. Hello. Love it. Glad to see you. This is also not a great hand. We're waiting for a good hand. So I'm short stacked, 13.8 big blinds out of 100 big blind buy-in. This hand isn't good enough to play. That's why we're folding it. So now I'm going to be talking directly to you. Since I know you're here, that's great. And so here we are. Yeah, and if you're just saying what because I was using a lot of jargon, that is, I am going to be using a lot of jargon. If I say something and you don't understand what it means, that's a hand we're playing too, and we're gonna min raise that. Even we're in early position and we've got such a short stack. And King 7-6 double suited is a good hand, and we're playing it. It's a good Omaha hand. And so we're going to see what happens here. But if I say anything that's jargony and you don't understand what I mean, we keep getting paired boards and it sucks. Every time we play, we're hitting a paired board. Paired boards are bad. They're bad, bad, bad. We have to bet it. We have to bet it. We're min clicking it. Because we do have a pair of kings. There it is. We have to get out. That's a queen. That's a queen. Promise. All right, we're playing this one. This is the last one we're playing, and then we're gonna. Nah, fuck it. We're gonna bust before we rebuy. That's what we're gonna do. So we're just gonna call this because we're on the big blind, and so we can just check it. That was nice of them. Paired board. What do you do on a paired board? You check it and you fold it. Is what you do. And I don't even have a draw. I can't even call one big blind. So I don't know why it's... Yeah, there we go. I had 4 seconds left. Ace 7-7 queen. We will play this even in the small blind. We're going to call that raise. It's a raise. It's a min click, but it's a raise, which means they have something. It might not be great, but they like it. But we're going to play it. And if we hit anything, we're going all in. And we're going to get called. So there we go. We hit aces. with a straight draw. And we just get it, which is great. So that's good. Ace 2 4 4. No, not good enough to play. I would play that if I had a stack, but I don't have a stack, so I'm not playing it. Our stack is too short. I hope you know what that stuff means, Kit. Look at that. We would have hit a bad full house here with fours, sixes over fours. So we would have played it. It's might be good. This person's betting though, and when you bet min like that, that's a monster. They have a pair at least probably better than fours, and I'd even be willing to bet that they might have a six. When people min click on a trip board on a, oh, that's yeah, that's quads. I'm out of water. I need more water. We would have had a good hand. It's still not a good hand, not a good hand enough to play, but it was a good flop for the hand that we didn't play. This is a terrible hand. It's absolutely terrible. We're not calling any raise. But maybe they'll let us limp in. Nope. Can't even call that single big blind raise. Because our hand is too shitty. We would hit a set of sixes. I was thinking like, well, we do have a pair. So I'm either making all the wrong decisions or not. I don't know. They might have a set of nines. Who knows? It could have a straight. Set of nines. Yep. Check 10 2 2, not playing it. We're three-handed now. And I want to get back in this game. That's it. We'll play that. Couldn't miss harder. We at least have a flush draw now, but we don't. God damn it. Fuck it, we're all in. We blocked the straight and we don't. We miss. We're out. We're gonna buy in for the max. All right, we got basically just blew through. I don't think we won. I think we won 2 pots and it was like folds on the flop. We got nothing basically. So let's see if we do a little better this buy-in. Got a bunch of new players, so it's not even the same round of people. We got 4 players in this one now. And we'll be in on the next hand, so. Oh, no, we're not. We're going to have to wait until it goes around. That's okay. That'll give me time to get some water. So I'm going to go get some more water, and I'll be right back. Oh, maybe you won't. It's moving pretty fast. Now, I've got... This is a playable hand. We're playing it. We'll check it, though. I don't need to raise it. And another paired board. We are just getting hit with paired boards, and that sucks so bad. Paired boards suck. They don't have anything, but we don't have anything either, so. It's garbage. Out of there. All right. Nothing. I mean, we would have a straight draw here, but it's a terrible hand. It's a terrible, terrible hand. And the board paired again. It just blows. It just blows. We'll play this. This is a good hand. We'll bring in for that. Get a caller. Oh, we missed. We missed hard. I mean, Jack gives us something, but we don't have anything here, so we're just going to check it, see what develops. Look at, we missed even harder. The board paired and there's a flush that we don't have, so 9s and 8s. We could win just by having a 9. And we do. Absolutely. Great hand. Four Broadway is a pair and a suited ace. That is a monster hand. This is a 4-bet bluff hand, by the way. This is a 4-bet bluff hand. Well, that's very good for us. We have a pair of aces, and we block the straight, and we have, it's a rainbow, so we're going to bet this. We're going to bet 2/3 pot because we have the range advantage. We're in position, and we got check too, and we have top pair with good draws. And so here we go. That's a raise. It's a check raise. Check raise almost always means a monster. We block the ace, so they have a set of kings or a set of eights, or they have 2 pair. And I am real fucking hesitant to do this, but a queen could come. God damn it. I have to fold it. I have to fold to the check raise. I don't think they're bluffing me. And they might be. We might have gotten bluffed off a hand, but like, I hate it. I hate it. Because every time we've called, we've been wrong. Now we're heads up. This play is totally different. Okay. Now we're heads up. That's a whole different. So now we have to be way more aggressive and play way more hands. And ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a straight draw. So we have to bet this. And we have a pair of 4s. Actually, no, we don't have to bet that because we have a pair of 4s. Now we have queens and 4s. We're going to bet it. We're going to see what they do. We'll call any bet they make. They're going to bet the pot. We're going to call them. I mean, they could have that flush. They don't. I think our queens and 4s are good. But we're going to check it down because they could have a straight too. So, nope, their flush is good. Definitely raising, no matter what they do. We'll 3-bet that. Even though that's no suit. We're just not doing well at all. We're just missing everything. We're out of position, so we're going to check our pair of jacks. We're going to win. Nope. Not even playing it. Terrible hand. Not going to play it. There's very few hands you fold when you're playing heads up, and that is one of them. This is a check. We're not going to raise it. It's bad. Queens, though. We block the high straight, but the 8-10's there, so we got to call it. We have top pair. More hands that made our hand worse. If they bet high, we're betting. If they bet again, we got to get out. Yeah, if they bet the pot, we're out. They got a straight. Our hand is no good, and it had no equity. Ooh, yeah. Oh, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's bad. They've got us stacked too. Like, that's, oh, just terrible. Just terrible. We're not doing well. We're not doing well at all. But they limp. Oh, we hit a straight. So we're going to check it out of position because there's nothing threatening us. So hopefully they'll bluff into us. And this is one to trap because we have one of the suits and there aren't any suits there. So well, they didn't even bet. So they're not going to do anything. So we have to bet pot now because we have to get more money in the pot. Maybe they'll call us. We probably should have put on some Hollywood. They called no matter what. So we're going to go ahead and bet the pot. But we're going to do it slow as though we're thinking about it because we want to get them to call. That's slow enough. 10 seconds is long enough. Nah. They called the turn, so they had like something. Wonder what. This was a good hand. Of course we miss it. And the board pairs. I mean, it's just been the whole way. It's like it's missing our range and the board pairs. Like so much. And at least we have our draws, but we're out of position. We're not bluffing this. But we might. We maybe should. Do I bluff this? We got jack. Now we got showdown value. Let's check it. They don't have anything. I got a call. Maybe they have a 3. Oh, they hit us. Of course they hit a full house. Jesus Christ. We're just fucking getting hosed. We are just getting absolutely destroyed. Missing everything. There's nothing. We have no equity here. Queens and 7s, baby. Can't do it. Double suited, two-handed. Yeah, we'll do that. And we miss everything again. We got 2 pair at least. We'll half pot it. That's worth 3. Nope. Most bueno. All right, we're 3-handed now. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'm going to quit bringing in with anything less than a good hand. I think we're going to switch to kind of a limping, cheap, play it cheap strategy. Top pair, nothing else going. 2. Flush came, so we're just going to check it. We're going to call it, though. Actually makes it better, but I mean, learning our lesson, we're just going to check it down, and hopefully we win with top 2. And we do. No sense in putting money in a pot that you don't have the nuts on unless you're trying to bluff them off. And it's so hard to bluff people off at these stakes. That's a terrible hand. We're not playing it. So we're honestly just playing our equity. And we haven't had any. We've been losing. We've been calling with marginal hands and losing to the nuts. And it's been killing us. So today's not a good card gods day. That's for sure. That's a terrible hand. We'll get rid of that. The card gods don't like us today, are not smiling upon us. Now here we would have had a straight draw and a flush draw, would have been able to bet that, would have missed, would have ended up with a pair of 2s and a pot-sized bet. We're just like, even our bad hands aren't hitting, so it's like even the ones we fold aren't hitting, so it's like us, ugh. Card gods don't like us. Well, we're double suited. Here's the thing, is I'm supposed to bet here. And the reason I'm supposed to be bet is that I have double suited. You want to go heads up with a double suited hand, but I can only bet the pot, which is going to be 3 big blinds. And both of them are going to call, so there's no point. And here we are. We hit our suit, a shitty suit, way better with one other person. But we also have a pair of 8s. And not really much of a straight draw, but we're going to check it because we're out of position. Now we have a better straight draw, but we still have, technically still have showdown value. Yeah, pair of 8s is not showdown value. Kind of want to, nah, I'm not going to bet this out of position. We have nothing. We have a pair of 8s. We'll show it down. I don't think we can win. Yeah, there's a king. That would have, kings and 4s. That would have called. They would have called. Promise. 10, 10, ace 3. Yes, we're playing this. And they raised. So they have a hand, but we're still calling it. Because it's a good enough hand to play. But we have to be real careful. And once again, we just miss so hard. Like, we're just missing every flop. Like, as wide as you can miss. Card gods do not like us. Look at that. Another paired board. Ugh. Vomit in my hands and my own mouth. And so it's not to do. I mean, we got aces and 6s now. Now we check it down and hope we just win, which we might. Yeah, we do. So we got aces and 6s. I mean, what else could we do? That's a hand. I'm going to go ahead and not bet the max. I'm just going to bet 2.5. We're lowering our bring-in size. We're not betting pot anymore just because our luck is so shitty. And we miss hard again. You can't do anything with that. Got to check it down. We have shit. Got jack shit. Pair of 6s, baby. Bring it on home. Nope. 9s beats us. Oh, boy. Real hard to win without cards. So this is one of the worst hands you could have. 3 4s and a 2. Hands like that look good to someone that doesn't know what they're doing, but you can and must play 2 cards out of your hands. So if you have a 3rd card, you're blocking yourself. So that means there's only 1 4 left. So the best hand we could make with this hand is 4s over something. You know, full house with the board. Yeah. 2 4 6 8 total. Yeah, we'll call it. We'll play it. Honestly, at this point. There we go. There we go. That's a good straight draw that we can play. We're going to check raise it. We're not going to bet it because we are out of position and it's 3-way. There we go. We're going to check raise that. We're going to min click that. See, they folded to our check raise, which means that when they did check raise us, they absolutely had it. This is a good enough hand to bet for sure. We'd like to isolate them, but the one big blind isn't going to do anything. If they're going to play, they're going to play, and these are callers. So great. We missed again. But we have a pair of queens and we have a straight draw, so we're calling. But that's a pot-sized bet, which means they probably have a pair of aces, or a pair of aces and queens, or aces and 3s, or a set, or a flush draw. So I'm not even calling it. I'm not even calling it. Because our playouts have been so bad. And a pot-sized bet means they have something. Now, it's a great hand. We have to bet this. We have to raise it. This is a 3-bet hand. We are going to 3-bet. We're going to 3-bet the max, and we're going to see what they do. If they 4-bet us, they didn't. They called, so they don't have aces. They might have kings. And, of course, we miss. We miss everything. But at least we have an overpair, so at least we can c-bet this. We're going to bet a 3rd pot, which is small. So we're going to c-bet and see what they do. They fucking raise because they have 3 10s. They have kings. We're beat. We're beat. We're just fucking beat. I know it. I hate it. Like, we cannot hit anything here. I just gotta be patient. Wait till we hit anything. The card gods are definitely angry with us today. Nothing to be done about it. I mean, we didn't totally miss. That's our range. We hit our range. But we're out of position. I'm still betting it. I'm going to make a range bet here. And an equity bluff. It's a terrible hand. We're not going to play it. I am disheartened. I will not lie to you. I'm very disheartened with these. And if I bust here, I will go one more bullet. Except I'm going to switch games. I'm going to try high-low again. And if I can't get in a high-low game, then I'm going to play regular old Texas Hold'em. See if I have better luck at that. But the Omaha card, the PLO gods are not happy with us. It's a playable hand. Definitely worth the 2.4. Get a call, not a raise. Fold and a call probably. And we missed hard to a paired board yet again. What to do? What to do? Can't play it. Well, he hit our flush draw, so we're going to bet our flush draw. And someone's going to call with a king. We just get it. Good. It did check around with that 3, so that's good. Bleh. Unhappy sadness. Unhappy sadness. No, we're not playing that. Let's see what happens with our pair of 2s. A pot-sized bet that says I have 4-5 in my hand. Yep. All right, we're gonna hit the sit up the next big blind because I need to use the bathroom. So we're gonna play the next 2 hands, see what happens. Not even playing it. I'm just gonna sit up the next hand. I have to go pee. I'll be back. Sorry about that, mic fell. Sorry, I totally dropped my mic again. Oh, I missed 3 big blinds. Well, I got booted from the table. So I got booted from the table. I have to open another one. And since I said I'm gonna try high-low, see if we can get in a game. See if we can find a game. If high-low doesn't work, we're going to Texas Hold'em. And since we're doing this, I can see this here. Uh-oh, hello. There we go. Nope. No one here. Nope, no one's playing high-low, so high-low's out. I hesitate to go to a higher stake, but I could try it. You can't see that because I'll have to adjust the window in on my streaming software, but no sense showing you the game. The site's being laggy and slow. I might just have to call it because if the site's not even busting me anything. There we go. Let's move up the stakes. We can do 5-10. Nope. No one's playing high-low today, so high-low is out. So we're going to move to Texas Hold'em, traditional Texas Hold'em. I do no limit. Maybe we should do limit. No, we're not doing limit. Limit's kind of stupid. There's not going to be people in there either. So come on. There we go. All right, we found a Texas Hold'em game, so we can play that. So let me do this. Let me get you in there so you can see it. And that would be there you go. We're in. So now we're watching this, and we'll see how this goes. So Texas Hold'em, you're probably more familiar with. Kit, if you're here still, say hi. If you just popped in and left, that's okay too. But let's see what's going on here. So we can do a little more. I'm not Bart Hansen good, but I know a little bit about this stuff. So we'll see what they're doing. Now, the same principles applies, and people don't really bluff a lot here, but they bluff more in Texas Hold'em because people are way more familiar with Texas Hold'em, and so a lot of people know how to play. Whereas with Pot Limit Omaha, people still kind of don't know what they're doing, and they're just like guessing at stuff. All right. Got a razor finally on the button. And they're doing the 2.4, which is the right way. That's what we're going to do too. So this game has a lot. Ranges are a bigger factor in this game. They're a factor in PLO2 as well, but it's a little different, especially at mild stakes, because people just play everything that looks good to them. But we're going to be a lot more discretionary here, for sure. And so this was bad for their opening range, very good for the big blind calling range. but they didn't bet it. So the right move would have been for the big blind to bet there. And so we'll see what the button does, if they're going to check it down or if they're going to stab at it. And they're going to stab at it. They're going to do a little half pot, a little over half pot, a little 2/3. That was enough for the big blind to fold out. So who's to say if they had something? Ace-3 is a bad hand. A lot of people just play aces. That's wrong. Ace-3 is not good, but we are on the big blind. And so if we get raised in later position, we're going to play this hand. We'll call the 3 big blinds. And then we'll just see what happens. And we miss. Holy. And so we're going to just kind of check it, see what happens. We're not going to do anything. We have nowhere to go. We're just going to fold our junk. And we're in the small blind, and that's just not even think about it, throw it away. So the correct ranges to play for GTO are, so button, cutoff, working backwards from seat 2 here is button, cutoff, hijack, low jack, big blind, small blind. So from the low jack, you want to, or from the big blind, you want to play suited 6s and unsuited 8s. Anything higher than that you play. So you got a very wide range. So 6s and 8s and 6s. With here, nah, we have not to a raise and a call. You know, what are you gonna do? The cutoff would play 10s and 8s, suited 10s, and or suited 8s and offsuit 10s. And of course pairs and suited aces and kings and stuff. But then see, this is an offsuit. We're in the cutoff, and that's an offsuit 9. We're not supposed to play this. So we're gonna fold it. It's not that good. We would have played that if it was suited. Or if it was a 10. But offsuit 9s are just outside of our range, and offsuit cards just in general aren't very good. So we are gonna expand our range a little bit. We're gonna cut out kind of the bluffing hands, and we're gonna bring in a few more value hands because we can bet linearly at these stakes. But still 2-9 doesn't cut it. We're still gonna pay attention to position, and we're looking at this player here in seat 6. Looks like the way they're betting gives me the impression that they kind of know what they're doing. So it's a good thing to have them across the table. So we're not especially looking to get into hands with that player across from us. We're just going to kind of watch everyone else and see what they do. We think that player 6, is at least a reasonably decent player. So we'll see what seat 2 does here. They're going to raise us. I mean, we've got a suited hand, and we're on the big blind. It's a min raise. We'll call it. We miss everything. They bet. We're going to fold. We have nothing. Eight, 6 off is bad. Not good enough to play from the small blind. Very tight. Very few hands you play from the small blind. Very few. Reason for that, it's terrible position. We got a pretty tight table. Queen 7 suited is not a great hand, but it's definitely good to open from the button, but it's not good enough to call, really. So if either seat 1 or seat 2 bets, we're not going to play it, but we are going to open it. We are going to do 2.4. And so we'll see what the big blind does here. And we did hit our flush draw, so we're definitely going to bet that. We have a back gut shot straight, backdoor straight, and a decent flush draw. We're going to bet it. Our range pretty well, and we have the clubs. So we'll see if they call a 2/3 pot size bet. thinking about it, which means they have a piece of it. They could have a 2, they could have a 9, they could have a straight draw or a bad flush draw. If they didn't have a 10, they would have called a 10 without question. And they didn't have an overpair. They might have had a smaller pair, like a pair of 6s or something, pair of 7s. Doubt it, though. 10-6 is not good enough to bet on the cutoff. Not good enough to play. 8s, suited 8s in the cutoff. We're now moving to the hijack, so it'll be jacks and 9s. Queen 10, not good enough because a jack is the lowest we want to play offsuit, but we are going to play it because, like I said, we're bringing in our Broadway. We're changing. We're changing our. We're not playing GTO here. We're doing more linear betting. So Broadway's good. Broadway's okay to play. And we missed, but we're gonna bluff because we're in position, and that's a good bluffing board. But we're just gonna bluff small. We'll see if they do it. We'll see if they call. They did. Well, now we have a straight draw too, so we're gonna go ahead and bluff that. We're gonna bluff that bigger. Let's do a pot size bet and see if they call. They called. They have something, and we missed everything. And they have a flush. We're gonna fold. So our bluff did not work. Yeah, we can bring that in. We're gonna min click in first position. Well, we got folders. And our bluff worked. Our min click bluff worked. So everyone here is not just playing every hand. So we got like people that are at least conscious of ranges. Oh, this is a terrible hand. We can't even call from the big blind. It's so bad. King 6 is not good. Definitely not from the small blind. Not in any circumstance. That is the auto fold. Jack 8 is good enough to play. Yeah. I meant to do 2.4, but that's fine. That's why. That's why it's good enough to play, because people. So we've got somewhat tight players at this table. So this is a tight table. So that's those two things. That means we can start bluffing a little more from late position, pre-flop. We can widen our range, and we can play a little more aggressively. And that also means that when people do want to put money in the pot, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna, you know what? We're gonna do an extra one there against the bad players. You're not supposed to do that. We'll see if anyone bites. They might just give it to us. It's looking like this player's going to call. No, they're all just going to fold. So we got greedy, and it didn't pay. Queen 9. It doesn't matter. Winning pre-flop is fine. Like, winning's winning. Winning a small pot is way better than losing a big pot or losing a small pot. Or betting and folding. So we are going to do that. We're gonna bet our monsters a little bigger and our weak hands a little smaller. This isn't good enough to play in the small blind. But as I was saying, because it's clearly a tight table, they're playing ranges, and that means we can bet a little more. They are folding to pre-flop raises, which means we can bluff from late positions, even with garbage. We can play hands like 5-3 suited, 2-4 suited. Basically, we can play every suited hand from the button if we can bring it in, we can raise in if no one before us bets. But if someone before us brings in, we have to be real careful. So basically that's what this means. Since it's a tight table, if someone bets, we have to be extra cautious. But if no one bets, we can bet pretty hard. So Jack Queen's a very good hand on the button. We would raise this. We'll be betting, yeah. That's a good hand. That's a good hand to have. We would call a 3-bet with this hand, even though a 3-bet's likely aces in these stakes. We'll see. Player 1 has been thinking a lot, so we're just going to bring that in for the pot. That's fair enough. Let's see if the big blind calls us. Let's hope. Let's see what they do. They have a big blind. They have a range. They're thinking about it. They're not sure what to do. Or they're off thinking about something else, or they're multi-tabling. Or they're got Facebook open or whatever, Instagram. Or they're looking at porn. Yeah, they weren't paying attention. Nine six, no good. All right, so we're four-handed now. So we can play a little more aggressively. Let's min click this in. We can play a little more aggressive. We can widen our range for four-handed. We got called though. We missed everything, so that sucks. So we're not gonna. Let's bet that. Let's see what everyone does. Let's go ahead and bet the pot. See what if anyone calls us. That's a bluff. That's a total bluff. I mean, obviously. No, we got a caller. That sucks. We can't go any far. Well, we can triple barrel them. Let's just keep potting it. Let's see what they do. Oh, good God. We were just picking the wrong times to bluff. Oh, good gravy. Oh, God. We're not doing well at all. Everything I try isn't working. It's a bad day. We lose this bullet, I'm out. And of course, we hit two pair. On a really shitty board. That's a bad two pair, but it's two pair. And that's a really good hand. This, yeah. Queen ace on the button. We're playing it. We're going to raise that as a 3-bet. Just under 3x. And we miss. But we're betting the king anyway. We're going to range bet that. Or we'll bet large because of the diamonds. So a bluff finally worked. Finally. But we're still down. We're down. This is our third bullet. Not a good cards gods day. Oh, 2-9. Easy fold. Easy fold. Bad hand. And I am on the big blind with King 2 suited. That is a playable hand, especially on the big blind. And especially with the small blind, so I'll have position. So I'm going to call that. I'm not going to raise it. That's a great flop for us. We're gonna be bluffing that. We're gonna be playing that. Our twos are no good. They have something. They might even have an ace. We're still gonna check it because we missed. They have something they're gonna bet. I think they have an ace. Check our twos. It's showdown value. It works. Jack. Great hand. People don't like jacks, but they're wrong. Jacks are great. They're a great pre-flop hand to bring them in, but if they miss, you just play them accordingly. Play them like the marginal hand that they are, but we're going to raise that up. Hopefully we get a call here. Nope, we do not. We just take it down. We're not playing 8. Well, 8-6. We might play that on. No, it's bad. We're not going to play 8-6. If it was suited, we play that, no question. Nah, maybe we should have played it. Top pair and a flush draw. Not the worst. Bad flush draw, though. But a straight flush draw. This would be a nice hand to play with. Especially with that ace coming. That'd be good for us. It would scare people. Let's see. So this player bets 2. So the pot's nothing. They called. We would hit our straight. I think we'd have been okay. This person might have a flush. Player 6. But player 4 might also have a flush. I don't think they did, though. I think they hit a straight, just as we did. So it's called a one-liner. We're playing King 7 suited. We're going to bring it in for 2.4. So this is a blocking hand. It's a bluffing hand. And we hit a 7, which changes it. We also have a backdoor nut flush draw. We're not going to bet this because we have a pair of 7s. Well, maybe we should bet for thin value. That is an ace. Yeah, let's bet the ace. Let's just bet small and see what happens. We might knock someone out. People are scared of aces. Good. We knocked at least one person out, so that's worth it. We just won the pot. In position. So based on how everyone's playing, we should basically c-bet every time. We should do a small c-bet. We should c-bet. We should buff small and value big is what's going on here. So we should do a c-bet. That means a continuation bet. If we bring in, we should continue the bet. 5-9, we're not going to play. And we're four-handed again, so 6-10, no good. So because people are folding to small c-bets, we're going to c-bet every hand. Every hand we bring in, we're going to c-bet. And we're going to start check raising more. If we're gonna check everything from out of position, and if they bet small, we're gonna check raise very big, and if they bet large, we're gonna fold. And we're only gonna check raise with draws and made hands, though. We're gonna call marginal hands. We can start playing for thin value too. because they call with hands. They're not being aggressive at all. And these are weak bets. Yeah, this is a very mousy table, so we can put on the captain's hat and start playing. But we have to have the cards. We have to have the initial cards to do it. We're not playing garbage. We're not playing trash. 10 Jack we're playing. Not if they raise, we're not. And they raise, we're not. We would bring that in, but we're not going to call with that hand. Maybe we should have. I put them on a pair of 9s. I think they've got a pair. I don't think they like that 10. Let's see what they do. Twice they've check raised us, and because they didn't do anything there, we knew that we were right to fold those check raises. We're not playing queen 9 off, not in early position. So believe the bet. If they're betting it, they have it. We're not getting bluffed on this table. But we're going to be bluffing. Queen 10 on the button, or on the big blind, is a fine hand to play to a raise. We will play it, and we will raise it if no one does. So that's a bring in. We're going to call that for sure. We're not going anywhere. I got a coup callers. Sure, yeah. Let's go ahead. Nothing. We missed. Hard. We're out of position. We're going to check that pair. If they're smart, they'll bet this paired board at a small amount, so like 2 or 3. And they didn't. So we're not going to play it. We don't. Well, no, we do. We have a straight draw here, so we could definitely. 9-10 Jack Queen is a good straight draw, but we're going to call because of the. Yeah, and we did hit a straight, but the flush came. And I think 2 has clubs. I think they really do. We still have to call because we have a straight. But I think they have clubs. Oh, look at that, they don't. What did they bluff us with? They had 10 Jack. They had 4-2. They had a set of 2s. They had 3 2s. Is what they had. Queen Jack. We're gonna raise. We gotta raise. We're gonna raise the pot. Queen Jack suited. We raise. They're gonna call. They might re-raise, which we would call. We will call a 3-bet, but we won't raise it. We're gonna call it. They've got a really good hand. They almost certainly have an ace. We're gonna check that. That's very, very bad for us. But it's not anymore because they check, which means I don't think they have an ace unless they have ace, which they might. But we're not checking it, but we are calling the bet that they make here. We have a marginal made hand, so we're going to call them down. We're going to call them. They very well could have a set of aces here. Very easily. And we're going to check it. We're going to see. We'll see it. They have kings. I wonder if we could have bet them off that. Not to a raise. Ace 4 is bad. To an early position raise. I don't think that player is necessarily aware of position, but they might be. All of a sudden, so when the raises come out, when people are folding and checking and min clicking, and then all of a sudden people are raising, you have to be real careful. What do they have that's worth 7 big blinds? Pair of 9s. It's not worth a pot size bet. Like, I mean, that's less. Yeah, that's a third. That's a small bet. It's a weak bet. I don't understand it. Jack. I like Jack Jack. We like Jack Jack. We're gonna play that. We'll do 2-4. We'll do the standard bring in. We'll see. Large one scared people off. We got a caller here. We got the small blind call. That's good for us. That means they probably don't have much. And the fact that they're calling from the small blind means that well, that's a good for both of their ranges, their calling ranges. But and they could, I mean, that's a come out and bet. They could just have a sneaky 2-pair. We're gonna, do I raise it? No, we're just gonna call it. We're gonna see what develops. I don't think that queen's gonna matter unless they're playing like 4 queen, and that's a, so we're gonna bet it. We're gonna bet. Yeah, I think they have an 8. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bet for thin value here. I'm gonna bet half pot. Those 2 overcards did not help our hand. I think they have an 8, but they might have a ace 8. Who knows? We're gonna go continue for thin value. We're gonna do half. We'll go third. We'll do half pot. So we'll go 10. See what they do. We got it. They had an 8. Let's see what they had. Oh, we're playing. We'll play king 10. They indeed had an 8. 9-8 suited. 9-8 spades. So they had an 8. Jack King on the big blind is being played. Yeah, we're almost back up to equilibrium here. I wouldn't call that for sure. It's not a raising hand, but it's a calling hand. It's a straight draw. It's a gut shot straight draw. It's not. That's bad. Oh, we have overcards, and we have a backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. I mean, we'll call. We'll see. We'll see a flop. Well, we have a straight draw now, and that's good. And it didn't come, so I think we can probably bet here. So I don't think they have anything. I think if we bet big. Let's try 2xing and see if they call us. They might just give it to us. Yeah, they just gave it to us. I think they probably had either hearts or like a 10. Nine king. Nah, not to a raise from the small blind. Early position raise, small blind, absolutely not. Not good enough. Not good enough to play. Yeah, not good enough. Remember, they raised. They've been limping. They raised. So that means they have a hand here. Ace king, high Broadway. They called. They didn't raise. They don't like the queen, so they could have jacks. Pair of jacks is the best they've got. They don't have a queen. They don't have a pair of kings. They don't have a pair of aces. I don't think they have a queen with a good kicker. I think they've got high cards, and they didn't like it. Seat 4 probably had a queen. We don't know that for sure. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a queen something. 5-3 is a bad hand. We're not playing it. It sucks to have a garbage hand on the button, but what are you gonna do? (10-9) offsuit is good enough to play not to a raise. We'll bring it in, but like If this player bets, we're folding it. And it looks like they're going to bet. No, they fold it. So we'll bring it in for 2.4. There we go. We'll get a call from the big blind. Nope, we just get it. So since they're folding to our small bring-ins, I think we should go back to the big. They're just playing their cards. No one's thinking about ranges or what we have. So what we can do is we can go and switch it up a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to start betting our better hands more and our weaker hands just less. Not a whole lot, just slightly. We'll do an extra like big blind or two. Like for example, we'll do this and we're going to do a pot size raise instead of the min click that I would normally do in that position. And so this is a good hand. And so we just want to put a little more money in the pot with our better hands, basically is what we're doing. And we're going to be bluffing a lot more to these players. Or we're going to bluff strategically. Actually, maybe not. Yeah, there's a lot of pots just being taken down here. All right. What are you going to do, seat 4? You're going to min click from early position, which is a fine position to take. Jack 5 is a really bad hand. Jack 5 offsuit is a really bad hand, and like I am very tempted to not even play it. And I don't think I will if they fold, so I'm just going to let that go. So now we're looking at the small blind with 2 jacks suited, also very bad, but it is a suited hand, but it's the small blind, so it's really shitty. Now what's going to happen is we're going to raise. We're gonna bluff here. We're gonna bet the pot. We're gonna do 1 over because we're out of position, and we're just gonna steal it. If they'd have raised us, we would have folded. King 5 on the button isn't great. It's offsuit, but honestly, at this point, we are seeing such weakness over on this side of the table that we need to bring it in. And so that's a call from the small blind. So they have something. And that's not good for us. But we're gonna see bet anyway based on what everyone's been doing. And since there's 2 clubs out there, that's not good for our range. We're just gonna bet big and they're gonna call. So they've got a piece of that. So they like what they see. They might have. Let's try betting pot. Let's try over pot. Let's try 1.5 times the pot. So that's about what? 12 plus 6, about 18. Let's do about 18. 18 big blinds here. See what they do. See if they like that ace. If they're afraid of that ace. Now they're just going to give it to us. We're gonna, yeah, we're gonna bluff them a lot, kind of. They're not really calling stuff. We're gonna play this for sure. That's a 2.4. That's worth a bring in. It's not a great hand. Not even very good, but it's suited. It's a suited gapper, as they say. Suited 2 gapper. Not very good hand, but good enough, especially against weak players that are folding a lot and folding to pressure. Ace 3, no good. We're not playing that. Well, we're up for like the first time today. I mean, we're still down in total buy-in, but like, I mean, we're actually above this particular buy-in for like the first time. PLO didn't like us. We're doing better at Texas Hold'em here. Ace 6 suited is definitely a bring-in. It's a small bring-in, so we'll bring it in for min. We'll min click that. I'm not playing a re-raise, by the way, but we'll happily do that. And look at that. We have a great flush draw, but we're going to check, and we're going to check raise. If they bet anything, we're going to raise them. They bet about made a big pot, so we're not going to raise them. No, we're not going to raise them large. We're going to raise them 4 times their bet there. That's a great hand. That's a great hand. 9-8 suited is a very good hand. That is a raise from any position. It's not a 3-bet, though. It's not a 3-bet. We want to play. And it's a gut shot straight draw and a backdoor flush draw. We're out of position, though, so we'll see what they do. It's good for my position, bad for theirs. They're betting it, though, which tells me that they have something, because it's such a bad hand. They didn't bring in 4-7, so they don't have the straight. They probably don't have a straight draw. They're probably not playing 7-8. There's no flush draw, so they probably have an overpair here, or ace-king, or high cards. So we're just going to call and see what develops here, because and it's not good for us. So we're going to kind of let them have it. We think they have us beat almost certainly, and we don't have any more equity anymore. We would need a 7 to drop, and it's not good enough. So they're betting large. They have something. They have ace jack. They could have a lot of things, and we're just gonna assume that they have us beat there. Hmm, 7-8 bad. 7-8 offsuit bad on small blind. Ten three suited is bad. It's not good, but it is a suited hand, and we'll see if these two fold. I think I gotta bluff these two here. I'm playing any suited hands. I'm bringing in any suited hands from late position. Yeah. I'm gonna do the 2.4 because they've been folding to min clicks, so we're gonna bluff small. There we go, and that's great for our range. They auto clicked, they auto checked. We're gonna go ahead and do 2/3 the pot there. You know what? We're gonna do a full pot size bet here. We're gonna bluff. We're gonna bluff a pot size bet and see what they do, because that's great for our range. The king and the queen is good for us because we brought in, and they called, so they have a piece of that. They like it. We're still gonna keep going with it. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna do 2/3 because we block the straight with our 10. Let's see what they do with the 2/3 sides bet. They might be on spades. They might have a queen. They don't have a great hand. They don't have a king. So we're seeing a lot of weakness from these players. So we can start doing what's called the triple barrel, which means if we don't get any pushback, we should kind of just be betting a lot. We're going to be bluffing a lot because they're just not pushing back. They're folding even marginal made hands. I mean, they had a hand. They had a hand. They called a pot size bet. They had a hand, and they didn't play it. And so that means that, yeah. Well, we got a new player, so we have to be a little careful, see what they do. We'll watch them, but like we have to, any reasonable hand, even not, just we can just play weakness. We can just play them. And so we're gonna play this. This isn't a great hand, but it's a 2.4. So we're gonna bring that in. We're gonna see what our new friend does. Oh, they're not in the hand yet. They're waiting. So we just win it. Yeah. So like we've just got a lot of a lot of weak mousy players here that are just playing super, super tight, which does mean whenever they bring in, whenever they raise in, or whenever they raise us, unless we have a monster, we're just getting rid of it. Just believe every bet, essentially, is where we're at now. And then we're going to be bluffing a lot. We're going to be bluffing with large sizes, too. And we're going to be double and triple barreling with large sizes. And we're going to be check raising a lot. So for out of position, what we're going to do, for when we're in position and we bring in, we're going to c-bet every hand. We'll do it according to the range and according to like whether it's a wet or a dry board. What we're going to be doing with out of position hands is we're going to be check raising a lot. And so if we bring in and we're out of position, no matter what the board comes, we're going to check. And if they bet big, we're going to call with our marginal hands, our marginal made hands, which is like not anything, a top pair, not great kicker, anything. That's like on this board, a marginal made hand would be like a 7. A pair of queens. Queen 3 is bad, and that's a raise, so we're going to get out. We're not even playing. It's an early position raise from someone that's been min clicking, so we're not even going to mess with that. So when we bring in and we're out of position, like we are here, so we're out of position, but we're bringing in, we're playing this, we will even raise it. This is a 3-bet hand, so it's a 3-bet bluff hand. So we're going to 3-bet them, and they're going to call us, almost certainly. So we're going to pot that. We're going to bring that up to 15 or 14. We're going to do a little extra padding here. Ooh, are they gonna call? That's the truest sign of a fish. They should fold. They should absolutely fold. Because they didn't raise. So they don't have anything good. They're just like, I kind of like my hands. Hello, Bleeding Heart Kami. Hello. I'm Amanda Bonanza, and I'm playing Texas Hold'em, no limit. Oh, they called. Oh. What do they have? They have Broadway or something. They don't have any. They might even have a marginal pair. So we're going to check because we're out of position, remember? And so depending on what they do, they just checked right away. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're now going to bet them. We are going to bluff them. And so we're going to do the pot. I don't think they have that. I don't think they have that straight. I think they're afraid of it. Now, if they call here, we're toast. So program, I assume you mean the poker app. This is called Ignition Casino. It's a European one, and you have to buy in with Bitcoin. Yeah. Ignition Casino. This is one of the softest. It's just the weakest players. It's super anonymous. That has its drawbacks. There's other sites like Coin Poker that I play on. Yeah, real money. Yeah, poker without real money isn't anything. I think it's not even worth even doing it all because people don't play the same. They play completely differently. See, our bluff worked. So you're just catching up, which is great. We've got a very weak table. Like all of these opponents here, they're just displaying weakness, weakness, weakness. So in position, which is what we are, we're betting every hand that's suited. And we're going up against the big blind here. Everyone folded out. We're just bluffing because everyone here is just showing weakness. They're folding hands and they're playing open face. So when they bring in, like that player just did, we're gonna fold because they're limping. If they like their hand enough, they're just calling. And so when they actually bring in with a raise, that means they really like their hand. And so we're folding pretty much everything that's not monsters to a raise. We're playing real tight 3-bet ranges, but we're playing very loose RFI ranges. And if you don't know what that means, yeah, oh, that sucks. I don't think they can seize Bitcoin, by the way, but I don't know. They might. I don't actually read a lot of books, poker theory books. I read a lot of I watch a lot of YouTube videos and tutorials on YouTube. And for No Limit Texas Hold'em, uh, my favorite tutorial is my favorite blogger is Jonathan Little. He's my favorite poker coach teacher. King 10 is a hand we're good. Oh no, we're not calling that to a raise from this person. That's been weak. Yeah, Jonathan Little. He doesn't have an H, so JONATHAN. He has a site called pokercoaching.com. If you want to learn, get better at poker, or take it even remotely serious, or just even want to just learn, it's a fantastic site. You can make a free account, and a free account gets you so much stuff. I strongly recommend it. Here, I'll put it in the chat in just a second. I'm gonna bring this in. I'm gonna wait till I'm not in the hand to start typing in the chat. I gotta kind of pay attention here. And we got a call. Look at that. We have a great straight draw that we're all over this board, so we're betting that. We're gonna do 2/3 size bet. This is the newer player, so we don't know how they play yet, but we're definitely betting this. This is our board. That just hit our range so well. So we'll see what they do. They're going to raise us. We're not going anywhere. We can't go anywhere. But that means they might. So what could they have? If they raise us, that means they have jacks. They could have queens, kings. They don't have kings, queens, or aces. They would have raised. They have jacks. They could have diamonds. They could have. They can't have a straight. They could have a set of sevens, a set of nines, a set of jacks. We're calling. And we hit our straight, so we're going to see what they do here. And so they check raised us. So they have something, and they hate that king because they know what that means. So they're going to bet. And so here's the thing. Now, I could raise them right now, and I should, because I don't want that diamond to come. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go all in, and we'll see if they call. Because I want all their chips. I don't want that diamond to come. Otherwise, I would have just called them and then just went all in on the river to get that extra money. But, like, they're already short stacked. So this is a good play. I don't think ace high. I think jacks. I think maybe even a set of jacks, actually. I think I put them on a set, actually, is what I think they've got here. I think they've got three of a kind, and they hated that king. And they're right to hate that king because I have the straight. I put them on at least two pair, and I think they hate it because they're thinking. They have a good hand, but they don't have the nuts. I have the nuts, and they're afraid of it. And they're right to be afraid of it this time. So this is when someone thinks that hard, that means you know you made a good bet. And we want them to call us so bad because they have like a good hand, and we're going to see what they do. Oh, they folded. They laid down a good hand. No, it wasn't their first hand at the table, but they are new to the table. I think they've been in for like one orbit. But we know we can bluff them off of a good hand. Here, we're going to make a note of that even. So we're going to do that. We're going to give them a mouse. We're going to fold this. Give them a little mouse icon there, meaning they're timid. They should have called that. Like I did that. Like my money is on two pair at least. I bet they had a set though. I really feel like they had a set. I don't think they might have had just like an overpair like queens, but I really don't think they do. And the reason I don't think they do is they would have raised queens. I raised in and they just called. They didn't 3-bet me. And so I really don't think they had queens, kings, or aces. I think they may have had jacks. I don't think a flush draw because they check raised me. And usually players at this level only check raise when they've got like the nuts at the time, like when they have the nuts. And so a check raise screams to me three of a kind. We're playing fives. We're going to min click in first position here. And look at that. They fold out. See what I'm saying? They're folding out like to a min click. So like we're going to get a call here from the big blind. And so we've got a pair. We've got a flush draw. It's bad. But we're playing this hand and we're going to bet it. So we're going to go ahead and just bet half pot. Okay, we'll do 3. 2.8. We'll do 2/3. I'm just going to get it. So at this point, based on the players at the table and their play style is so weak and so timid, we're c-betting every hand we bring in. And I'm determining the size of the c-bet based on stack sizes and wet, dry, all that stuff. So right now, we've got a raise here. And it's an early position raise from someone that's been playing very tight. I'm going to call it because it's 2 big blinds and we're stacked and it's just good enough. But honestly, I should have folded this, and I am not going to check raise this because I think they have a hand. We're going to see what they do. But if I check and they check, then we might go to town on them. But I don't have a good bet here, and I'm going to put them on something. We have gut shots, but that's a larger size bet. We're gonna let them have it. It's so much easier to take to just take little pots. There's no sense in calling these people. They're only betting when they have made hands. They're not betting their draws. They're not playing like GTO poker by any stretch of the imagination. So, and they're weak. They're folding a lot. So we can just kind of roll over everybody. But when we see a raise from someone who's folding, limping, like that, but it's a smaller raise, and we do have queen king, so we're not supposed to call. I'm gonna 3-bet bluff this, so we're gonna see what happens. If nothing else, we're gonna get this player out likely. And so we'll see. But I have been very active and very aggressive, so they might be getting fed up with it. So we'll see what they do. This player, I would bet, is almost certainly going to call me. These players don't bet and then fold. But they're thinking about it. Now, if they 4-bet me, we are out. But they called. And so we have king, queen, and we're out of position. So we're going to check raise. Well, no, we don't have even a draw. We have a really bad draw. Well, this is junk. We have overcards. So if we're going to check, and if they bet small, we're going to raise them big because we do have overcards, which is a draw. And so we're going to see. And they checked. So I think we can go ahead and bet here. We're out of position. That's a scare part. Let's do a half pot size bet. And this one set us up for the barrel because they're almost certainly going to call it. But if they call 3, 4, 5, 6, so they could have a 6. They've got a one-liner, and we could bet the pot here, and we have nothing. So I think I'm gonna do a pot-sized bet, and this is a bluff, and we might lose a good chunk of our stack here. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they can call it. I don't know what they have. I think they probably have a 10. They might have had diamonds. And that's another reason that we bluff. We bet big because people they'll call flush draws. And look at that. We got it. We won them because they can't play that big bet. So that was called a double barrel. Yeah, that's a trick. That's a trick. And so we're doing well here. I played PLO earlier and I lost my 2 bullets. I just didn't hit anything. And if you don't hit in PLO, you cannot win, not in these stakes. King 5 is not good enough to play. I mean, it kind of is. Yeah, with these guys, it really is. I'm min raising. I'm min raising these weak fish. All right. We'll just see. Yeah, see, they'll call a min raise. So 2.4 big blinds is enough. And look, we hit a king. So we're going to definitely, and that's great for our range. That's a great flop for our range. We hit second pair. We're going to, if they bet, we're calling. We're just going to bet 2/3 pot here because it's just a range bet. That's just super great for our raise first in range. And they snap called. So them having an ace is likely. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to check it down because we have a marginal made hand, a pair of kings that we have showdown value, but we can't beat a pair of aces. We can't beat a 4. We can't beat a straight. So if they bet here, we're going to go ahead and fold it. I'm going to put them on an ace or a 4, and I really put them on an ace. Like they bet too fast. So I'm going to let them have this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call you just to show you how right I am. Oh, look at that. I was wrong, man. Pair of kings. So look at that. I was right to call. We ended up winning that hand. How about that? So let's go ahead and raise this. This is suited connectors. They're low, but they're good enough to raise. And cut off position. We're gonna mark this player though. That for thin value. I'm gonna give them a little shark, as in like they kind of know what they're doing a little bit. That was like a semi-bluff what they did. I can't believe I won that. I really didn't expect them to do that, but that's great. We paid money. Not only did we win the pot, but we bought really valuable information there. So we're folding this. We don't have anything, and both of those players liked it. So nuts to that. Terrible hand. No equity here. We're out. I don't think they got married to their hand. I think they honestly thought they had the best hand. Like I said, I've been playing aggressively for some time. For probably the last 20 minutes, I've been playing pretty aggressively. And so they're kind of sick of losing. They're kind of sick of folding to me. They've all seen me do this a lot. And so like they're starting to call thin and bet thin for value because they're tired of folding to me. That's what I think. So I mean, a reasonable position to take would be to kind of slow my roll a little bit. But until we get cooled, there's no reason to slow my roll. Like that's the thing. But we're starting to see action now. So that person brought in. Remember when I said they're limping, that folding. They've got a very good hand. They've got a good hand. Seat 2, seat 4, seat 6 don't necessarily, and seat 1 don't necessarily. They're just calling because there's a call. But they've been folding so much, and I think they're all just sick of folding. Yeah, exactly. When the table is slow, play fast. When the table is fast, play slow. That's exactly correct. That's exactly right. That is the right way to play poker. That basically just do the opposite what the table is doing. Like, and so many people don't do that. And it's just the basic thing. It's just true. It's just true. And so look at that. They're all calling, but they're not betting big. Like it was a 3.2. Like what was that? Just a garbage, tiny little bet. They all called. Here's an 8. The board paired. So what could they even have? I mean, they probably have an 8 or a queen. Like you can put them on a made hand when they make that bet. Change speeds every 10 hands. That's a way. Yeah, that's a fine way to play. It's probably really smart. Yeah. I think here's the thing with that though, is that depends who you're playing against. Like really the best way to play is because if you've got something that's working, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're playing aggressive and you're winning and everyone's folding to you, then just keep playing aggressive. Like keep playing until you get cooled, really, basically. Is kind of the thing is if you're playing against good players that are paying attention, are thinking about ranges, understand position and stack size, then yeah, then you should definitely change your game up. That's a good strategy. But when you're playing at people that are only playing the two cards in front of them and are kind of guessing at what to do, there's no sense in having that strategy because they're not it's just going over their heads. It's flying over their heads. And so when people play poorly, like on the level where they basically play face up like this table's doing, there's not really any playing GTO or playing advanced strategies. You just have to dumb down your game to like, I'm gonna play better cards than them. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You overwhelm them. And I have ace 7 here on the big blind to this person woke up. I'm gonna call him. And I missed. So I have a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. We'll see what they do when I check to their raise. And if they c-bet, if they check, because that's a very good flop for my range, for my calling. GTO stands for Game Theory Optimal. So they did a half size bet here, little over half pot. So I'm thinking I should probably fold this because I don't have anything. If they'd have done it, I don't have like my draws are so bad and I've only got an ace. I'm just going to fold. I'm going to lay it down. And I'm out of position. So GTO stands for Game Theory Optimal. If you know what game theory is, it's a whole school of thought. And it's a relatively new thing. It's math. But basically, with the onset of advanced computing, Texas Hold'em has been essentially what's called solved. Like they've computers have figured out we're gonna raise this player from out of position. We're gonna see. I'm sorry, I can't yammer too much because then I get off my thing. But yeah, Game Theory Optimal is what GTO stands for, and you can look that up if you want to learn more about it. So we're gonna check out of position, and we do have like yeah, we've got a we're definitely betting. Let's do the pot size bet, and then if they just call, then we'll blast them on the river. Let's do 20. This might cool us. I feel like they're going to call. That's a pretty quick call. But I think they might be scared of that 7, and they sure as shit are. Oh, this 7 wasn't a brick. The 7 paired the board. That's no brick. That's not a brick at all. No, that was a scare card. That's why we did it. They had a pair. Queens, we love it. Oh, so I'm sorry you have to go. I'm glad you were here. Let me play this hand real quick. I'm gonna do a little extra. Stick around for this hand, and then I'll talk to you, and then I'll pause it and I'll talk to you. So I'm gonna raise this just a little more, and we're gonna go a little bigger because my hand's extra good. And we got a call. Oh, that's beautiful. We get a call from the big blind. This person here, seat 4, I think is tilted on me, and they're really frustrated with my play, and they hate losing to me. And so we are going to go ahead and, like I said, we're gonna check raise this. I don't like checking to that flush draw, but we've got a club in our hand, so I can feel okay with that. We're blocking the flush a little bit, and they just folded. So we're going to go ahead, and there's nothing out here, so we're going to go ahead and bet pot. We'll see if they call. They called, so they've got a draw. If they were playing 8 jack, they win. You don't think they were playing 8 jack? I definitely don't think they were playing 6-8. I think they were on clubs. All right, I'm going to sit out this next hand and I'm going to talk to you. So you got to go. Oh, shoot. I can't sit out this next hand. I have to play queens again. I'm playing queens again. So I stream every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, Medioker Poker on the Transverse. Every Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, or 2 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. I think that's 2100 Greenwich Mean. I'm not sure what it is in Melbourne, but every Saturday. And not tomorrow, but the week after at 11 a.m. on Sunday on Pacific time, I'm going to be doing a Fallout 76 live stream starting from scratch with a brand new character. If you want to tune into that, that'd be great. All right. Pleasure to see you. And I'm actually going to duck out too. I'm going to end the show. I think we ended on a good note. We doubled our buy-in. And that's that. Pleasure to meet you, Bleeding Heart Kami. I'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody else. We'll see you around. I'll be here next week. While I'm here, let's go to... Let's fade out the music and I'll do my shtick. So I do the Medioker Poker. I got to turn off this YouTube music. I got to turn off the jazz here. I killed it for you, but not for me. So getting back to it. So Medioker Poker, I do this every... Here, I'm just going to get myself situated. So Medioker Poker, I do every week, every Saturday at 2 p.m. That's 2 p.m. Pacific time. So whatever you want to calculate that, 2100 Universal Time, Greenwich Mean. I do a show called Being Trans with Lilith and Amanda with my friend Lilith, my partner Lilith Electra, and we discuss transgender issues, trans questions. That's at noon on Saturday. Everything's in Pacific time. Starting not next week, but the week after that, October 6th, I will be doing a new stream on the Transverse called The Church of Vault-Tec, where I'm going to be the Reverend Dr. Amanda Bonanza, and I will be playing Fallout 76 from scratch in the theme of an evangelical televangelist. It's going to be fun. Stick around. If you show up for the October 6th show at 11 a.m. on Sunday, October 6th, that's going to be the first one of that. That's going to go every week, and I'm just going to play straight through. I'm just going to play straightforward Fallout 76 only in that stream. That's going to be a character dedicated to that stream. You'll be able to, if you come in next week, you'll be able to help name the character, pick the gender, just help decide, tell me about the playing style. I'm going to be real malleable and real adaptable. So we're going to listen, but we're going to start from scratch. No legendary perks, no nothing. Start from square one, build a character from the ground up. You can help me make them look as crazy as possible. We can name them, all that good stuff. So the primary thing we're going to be doing on Sunday, October 6th, is we're going to build a character. That's going to be most of it. And then we're going to leave the vault. I think that stream is going to last for around 2 hours. It's going to be a 2-hour stream. It's going to be where I'm going to aim for it. So please join me for that. Please join me next week for Medioker Poker, where we'll be playing whatever we do. I don't know if we're going to play Texas Hold'em. I generally play PLO, Pot Limit Omaha, but that didn't work out today. I just didn't catch cards. But I did well on No Limit on Texas Hold'em, so that's good. So I feel okay. Like I'm only down like less than one buy-in, so I don't feel too bad about it. We'll get them next time. That's that, and I'll see you. Stay tuned to the Transverse. We got a bunch of good stuff coming up, and yeah, that's about that. Bye-bye, everyone.